أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير.
يا حسين 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 يا حسين 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 يا حسين 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 يا حسين 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 أنت إمامي إليك انتمائي منك قريب في كربلائي في كربلائي كيف أهاب نزف الدماء لست بعاشق إني فدائي إني فدائي عن يقين. حسين حسين يا حسين 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 يا حسين 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 يا حسين حسين حسین.
خیمه ها سوخت اطفال همه در به درند با خبر از غم خود بی خبر از یکدیگرند. صدای حرم افتاده به دام سیاد گویی از مرغ گرفتار گرفتارتر. یا حسین
حسین حسین یا حسین 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 یا حسین 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 یا حسین حسین حسین. نذر علي بالروح أفديك لا لست أعجب قلبي يناديك قلبي يناديك فالقلب وقف سيبقى عليك دوما ينادي لبيك 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 كل حين. حسين حسين يا حسين 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 يا حسين 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 يا حسين حسين حسين.
دو کبوتر بچه در زیر یکی بوته خار دست بر گردن هم اشک فشان بر پدرن. شهدا خفته به دامان بیابان خار و شرر نال چراغ سحرن.
Today's event is an important opportunity for us to deepen our ties with those who have a shared belief in the Creator. Interfaith relations have always been promoted in Islam, and noble leaders, including Prophets Abraham, Moses, and Jesus, have always promoted and fostered interfaith relations. These timeless role models demonstrated how positive interactions between different faiths encourages mutual understanding and empathy. It is an honor to be following in their footsteps today.
Good afternoon, everyone. You may perhaps not know what a High Sheriff is. You wouldn't be alone in that. Until about 5 years ago, I'm not sure I really understood. But the High Sheriff serves in the county of Buckinghamshire and in Milton Keynes for 1 year only as the King's representative in the county, with responsibility for upholding justice, tolerance, fairness in society. And particularly, especially given King Charles III, who came to this very church, and some of you may well have been here when he came, the promotion of all faith and belief groups across the city and the county. So I'm honoured to be here as High Sheriff and to be part of such an important event, as Reverend Ernesto has said, bringing together such a diverse group of people focused on peace and humanity.
I'll mention also a story from this very Ali, Imam Ali, whom we're very proud to be followers of. There was a person who was opposing Ali, fighting Ali, by the name of Muawiyah, his name was. Muawiyah was a governor on Sham. And there was a war between the two. And they met somewhere next or close to the river Euphrates, modern day Iraq. The army of Muawiyah had control over the water in the beginning. And the army of Ali became weak and thirsty. And then Ali, because he was a very reasonable man of politics, he sent a delegation to Muawiyah reminding him, that's very inhumane what you're doing, right? You can't deny people water in your war. Muawiyah would not listen, and then the army of Ali attacked, and they gained access to water. But the ethics of Ali refused that they would treat the other people in the same way they were treated. No, they gave them access to water. We see a similar attitude that Ali's son, Hussain, whom we're commemorating the martyrdom of these days, facing a similar situation. Hussain initially had access to water, and he allowed it to his enemies, the enemies that were blocking his way towards his people in Kufa, in modern-day Iran. But later the enemy gained access, and they deprived him and his family and his companions of water, and he ended up being killed thirsty. Hussein's movement that we're commemorating these days, this Reformation movement, why did he move against the tyrannical Yazid? Wasn't it not because those people went into excess? Wasn't it because those people went into extravagance? And in fact, Hussein himself said it. Those people عطلوا الحدود, and they exceeded the limits, and they allowed themselves what should not be allowed, and they gave themselves privileges over the money of the public. So he thought he would rise to reform that situation, opposing those people who go to excess and extravagance. The people of excess and extravagance and wastefulness that I mentioned in history, we see that history remembers them with the label of shame. But those people who were dignified were the opposite, or those people who are the people of sacrifice, not greedy. Imam Al-Baqir, our fifth Imam. So, in the Muslim world, there is a group, Sunni generally, if you want to describe them, Sunni or Shia. In the Shia, there are the 12ers, those who believe in 12 Imams or 12 successors of the Prophet, and those are people of knowledge and whose responsibility was to explain the message to the people and spread it and teach the right teaching of the Prophet. So the fifth person, Imam al-Baqir, it is narrated that he said, وَاطْلُبْ بَقَاءَ الْعِزِّ بِإِمَاتَةِ الطَّمَعِ, and seek the subsistence of honor in the mortification of greed. If you want your honor to remain, you need to kill your greed. This gives you honor.
This is a promise to you, Hussein. We will remember your grief and pain. Your sacrifices are not in vain. Your message lives on until today. Forever this world will call out your name. The cry from all of humanity, in every street, in every city, will be Ya Hussein. Forever your call will live in our souls. In every breath, in every beat, in every beat, in every breath, in every moment, every step will be Ya Hussain.
You stood against 30,000 men. You were alone in that barren land. Your blood was splattered across the plains and purified every grain of sand. Forever that land is liberated, where millions flock to see your shrine. The chants on their lips all the time will be Ya Hussain.
Hussain, you taught us the way of life. You showed it to us through sacrifice. Your final stand and your final cries, those moments were witnessed by the skies. Forever we will remember that day. It is a day that's like no other. The name the skies will cry forever will be Ya Hussain.
All the figureheads we look to today, they all take lessons from you, Hussain. Whoever struggles against injustice, the fight is theirs, but you lead the way.
When you have time, invest a few minutes in trying to understand who Hussain is and what Hussain stood for. This annual Peace and Humanity Procession is in the name of Hussain. Hussain is not a Muslim general per se. Hussain is a universal principle. Hussain is a champion of justice. And that is why all justice-loving people across the globe chanted and keep to chant the praises of Hussain. I would like to leave us with few things to ponder and reflect from Hussain. So Hussain led an initiative, and that initiative is initiative of reformation. But that initiative is of different values. Allow me to mention some of those values and humbly urge each and every one of us to go and reflect on these values and do something about it. Because I believe peace begins with me. Justice begins with me. If I try to become a champion of justice and peace, when I come to the community, I bring my portion, you bring your portion. Eventually, we will make Milton Keynes proud, and not only Milton Keynes, we will make the entire United Kingdom proud. First value we can all learn from Hussain is the value of diversity. If you examine the camp of Hussain in Karbala, modern-day Iraq, where he led this great initiative, you realize that in his camp, there were old people, there were youth, there were women, there were men, there were boys, there were girls, there were even Christians who met Hussain on the way, and they realized what he was leading was amazing, and they joined the caravan of Hussain. So Hussain taught us to celebrate our diversities. That's number one. First value. Second value, Hussain taught us freedom. We are free. That is why on the eve of this revolution, Hussain gathered his companions and he said to them, you are not the target, I'm the target. You all free to go. And there is no burden on you. But they all stood their grounds. And old people amongst them, the senior citizens, chanted to Hussein, if our lives are taken away 1,000 times from us, we will be proud to give it back to you, because you are standing for nothing but social justice. So that's the second value, freedom. Third value we learn from Hussein is what? Altruism. Altruism. Do you feel my pain? Do I feel your pain? Are you ready to take the pain for my sake? Am I ready to take your pain for my sake? Hussein taught us that. Read about Hussein. Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Go online, write, who is Hussein? Read about Hussein. He taught us altruism. What is altruism? People are suffering. We heard it loud and clear from the food bank. They are suffering. They have nothing to eat. Share what you have. Even if you have to settle with little, that's altruism. Hussein taught us. How did he teach us? One of his blessed companion, his beloved brother by the name of Abbas, he went out to bring water to the children. Children were so thirsty. When he got to the water, he was thirsty himself. He picked up the water. He looked at the water and he said, no, I cannot drink from this water when my master Hussein and the children are thirsty. He tried his level best to carry the water to them, but eventually he got murdered. He got killed on the way. Altruism. Milton Keynes need us. Poor people need us. Come out and support. That's the third thing we learn from Hussein. The fourth thing we learn from Hussein is sacrifice. Let's sacrifice our values. That 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds in trying to break the record. Do it. Sacrifice. It's crucial. It's important. Sacrifice. Hussein, how did they sacrifice? They were all competing to fight for justice alongside Hussein. Children of 8 years, children of 14 years, baby of 6 months. 6-month-old baby were massacred by the enemies because Hussein was trying to establish justice. So let's sacrifice, my dear brothers and sisters. This world needs us. It is not the way it's supposed to be. It is I and you from this humble, blessed place of worship. If we come together the way we are together today, we should be able to go out there and make differences in the name of Hussein.
Hussein al-Shaheed al-Shaheed al-Hussein al-Gharib al-Gharib al-Hussein Hussein al-Shaheed al-Shaheed al-Hussein. Salams on the lid of my Mawla Hussein. Salams on the lips of the blessed Hussein. For days in the desert your body remains, with thousands of arrows your shroud they became. And on Arba'een, where the millions will pray, the grief and the mourning